Hey, it's Twilight Girl. I'm gonna be starting off this chapter by reading a Bible verse. I'm leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. At the peace I give is the world cannot give. So don't be troubled or afraid. That is our Bible verse. Okay, so we're going to be starting off my first book that I will be reading and discussing is The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one. I feel like this is a very underrated book. I have read the whole book. I love poetry. It's a poetry book, so poetry books barely ever get the recognition that they deserve. Amanda Lovelace wrote this book, and I am in love with it. It does have a trigger warning on it, so if this is anything that you guys can't handle, you can write down in the comments that you'd like me to read a different book or discuss a different book. I'm going to be reading this one because it's poetry and it's like pretty short. Others that I might not be reading, but this one I am going to read. But here's a trigger warning. This book contains sensitive material relating to child abuse, gun violence, intimate partner abuse, sexual assault, eating disorders, harm, suicide, alcohol, trauma, death, violence, fire, and possibly more. Remember to practice self-care before, during, and after reading. Okay. So there is some swear words in this book that I will not be reading, just because it could get demonetized. Okay, so just so you know, I'm going to be skipping out on those. So Song 1. I'm dousing my fire, I'm dropping my sword, I'm melting my crown, I'm destroying my castle, and then I'm hurling it straight into that precious sea. All at this time I thought to myself, I'm a queen. And only now I'm realizing that was all make-believe. Song 2. I have a terrible habit of writing myself braver than I'll ever be. I'm not sure which of us I'm trying to convince, me or you. You're a chapter I didn't know if I should tell, for the fear I would somehow write you back into the current chapter of my life story. In one of our many worlds existed a girl who couldn't handle how very sad and confusing life could be, so she approached one of her many overstuffed bookshelves. She got up on her tippy toes and pleaded to dozens of rapt and well-loved spines, I want nothing more in this world to be one of you. Remarkably, the books listened. They more than listened. From that day on, they took her and raised her as one of their own. Each night while she was supposed to be sleeping, the girl's new family scribbled her into fairy tales about princesses, witches, and even her favorite fantastic fantasy creature, mermaids. That was our first chapter. I always have loved this book. I love the cover of it. Purple's my favorite color, so I'm a little bit biased to the cover. I love mermaids. I think that they're definite. I did a huge deep dive when I was little on mermaids. Did you actually know that there are some corpses of mermaids that are real? It is shown that they were real scientifically. or it could have been a hoax that people put on the beach, but that is a very off-topic fun fact that I had for y'all there. If, like I said, if I'm going to put the warning in here on every book, so if you're just, like, if there's a trigger warning, I'm going to say it every time I read the book. So if you just, like, if you're, like, cool with it, then it's cool, you can skip past it. But if you want me to, like, not read this book and do a different book, then I will happily do that, because I know, the triggers can be hard for people, so you can just, like, let me know in the bottom, like, in the comments. I don't know why I said bottom. That's kind of weird. In the comments. But I do like this book. I think it's really, the writing is beautiful. Surprisingly, though, I have not read any of her other work. And Amanda Lovelace, I have not read any of her other works. I need to read some of that, but I have not. So that is the end of the podcast today. But if this is something that you guys like, I like reading a lot. Like, I'm reading 2 books right now. I'm reading Broken Prince, and then I'm going to try to start Happy Places. I read the first chapter. I'm not really getting into it yet, but I've already read The Mermaid Returns in this one. The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one. I've already read that. So if this is, like, not something that you guys need to do just because of the genuine, like, really deep material in the book, then I will definitely, like, take all of your writing into like, consideration on the next book. But if you guys don't like this book, you can write it down in the comments. But that is the end of this chapter. This is Highlighter Girl.